Hola familia, how's it going? My name is Antonio Mendieta, and today I will be showing you how to get organized with Notion. This video is meant for volunteers within the organization doing projects and activities. However, if you are interested in seeing how we get organized and how we get our projects done, then you are more than welcome to follow along. I will also go into how I organize my calendar from the day to day and how I keep notes and how I keep track of all my projects. Okay, to start, we have the homepage. Here we have 3 pages to help new volunteers to get started. Let's see what is in new volunteers. Now let's click the toggle for status. This will tell us what each status means. Then we have technology, which will tell you what language and tools are being used for the projects. And lastly, we have whether the activity will be done as a team, individually, or with the public. External projects usually refer to hangouts, dinners, seminars, and other things that can be done with the community. Now let's go to Quick Start. Quick Start is a guide for those that are new to Notion to learn how to navigate the workspace. I left notes on what are the differences between workspace, shared, and private. Here I explain what each icon is for. And here is where I explain what it takes to become a team leader. And this last one talks about the mindset to have here in the organization. Now let's scroll down a little bit. Here we have our organization's policies and office manual to remind our members about what it takes to possibly be eligible for tax deductions and reimbursements, and of course provide them with rules of conduct. And on the other side, we have our team's information, such as our company's mission, vision, and values, goals, activity list, and workspace wiki. Let's take a look at the activities list. On the left-hand side, we see the activity name, and on the right-hand side, we see the status, skills, and team size, and inclusivity. If this looks a bit unorganized, you can always click here to change the view that you are most comfortable with. Notice on the right-hand side, you can also show or hide properties. Filter what you want to be shown to you. And sort based on different criteria. You can also click on New here or here in order to create a new project or activity, or you can click here to create a new template. Next, we will go over what each one of the pages on the left-hand side are for. Projects, as you can guess, are where we keep all of our projects. There is this one whole description that explains what you need to know. Once you have read everything, you can click Hide Description. Each one of our status columns are pretty self-explanatory. Archives are where we send our projects when we are completely done with them. By default, the properties you will see are type, needs, and the Slack channel that it is associated with. Inside each card, you will find when it was created, the type, who is participating, and the expected time that it will be completed in. If the type is a task, you can find out what epoch it is related to. When you scroll down, you will also find more information about the project, such as the purpose, notes, a to-do list, research data, and much more. Each project will vary depending on the project leader. If you are creating a new project or activity, but you don't know where to start, you can select one of our templates by clicking the arrow next to New. Remember, you can always change view if it is easier for you to see certain information. The user research page is to schedule and track the status of user research interviews. Here we track the task, the project, the date, the status, and the person that conducted the interview. Within each card are notes from the interview session. If the card is completely blank, you can use one of the templates provided, and it will automatically populate with what the template contains. Once a project is completed, we then create a complete study, which will then take us back to the project's research. This is why we don't delete projects that we finish. Rather, we archive them. Code Quality Code is for our engineers and has guides for best practices, deployments, infrastructure, and other helpful information for developers and engineers. Calendar will have our events and activities that are unrelated to projects. However, I'm not gonna lie, I will probably put project deadlines here just so I have dates set in two places. Docs hasn't really been used yet, but the idea is to have a place to organize necessary documents for the organization. Meeting notes are exactly what you think they are, and they are primarily used by volunteers that were unable to attend the meeting, or if they want a reminder about what was discussed at the meeting. If there are any meetings that new volunteers have to look at, they should be the ones that are labeled informational. Lastly, we have the workspace wiki, which contains guides and how-tos and resources that are available to our strong affiliates. You can always get a notification from any one of these pages by going to the right-hand corner and clicking on follow this page. You will then receive updates on the left-hand side. Now, before I show you how I organize my private workspace in Notion, I'm going to show you how to create the default templates and also the other features that Notion provides to its users. Now, the first thing you will probably notice in your private section is this, getting started. And it actually shows you, everything that you need to know in order to get started. Here is where we find the templates. And if we click here, Notion actually already provides you with a whole lot of, different templates in order for you to get organized. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click Personal Home, use this template. And the reason why I'm using this is because it's the most basic one I can find. As you probably noticed, there's always a hint whenever you click anywhere in the blank space, and that is type /4 commands. If you do type /, you will see all of these options provided to you. And as you can see, it already has lots of integrations with popular platforms. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create another page. So I will just type page, and I will name it developers. Go ahead, type /. And then here you can embed videos. Let's say I want to watch this video for future reference. Okay, while that's loading, I'll go ahead and create another line, and I'll put on header 1. I will say video to create servers. Let's put this underneath here. And let's see, something else. You can also embed GitHub repositories. Let's go ahead and put our website repository on there. And as you can see, it just leaves a nice little bookmark right here. And you can always highlight it and always turn the text into something else. Let's go ahead and give it a header 2. And if I drag it actually to the side, you can see, actually that looks weird. Let's go ahead and do header 1. you can see that I have now created it and put it into 2 different columns. Now I think the limit is 4. Let's see if that is right. Oh no, look at that, it just keeps going. Okay, well, as you can see, if however many columns you already want to create, you can. My suggestion is just stick with 2, because, I mean, that just looks a little squished. And of course, you can always remove and delete just by clicking right here on the 6 dots. Either delete, duplicate, turn into, change it to something else, or turn it into a page. Alright, so now let's pretend we're creating a page for designers. Well, let's see. What are things designers would probably want? Well, first off, they will probably want to create a page for UX research. And within that page, they may want to keep their typeform responses. Let's go ahead, let's go on typeform. And of course, if you're new to this and you want to create a survey in the name of our organization, strongly affiliated volunteers do have access to create typeform surveys. Let's go to my workspace. Let's click on share for t-shirt survey. Copy link. Then we will then put it here. And ta-da, it will then embed it onto here. For any designs from Figma, you can just do this. Go to your Figma design. Put it here, embed link. And now the design is there for everyone to view. And as you can see, you can just keep embedding other things like InVision, Google Maps, Whimsical, Miro, PDFs, etc., etc. Here is where you will create the boards and tables, anything that has to do with databases. And there's actually a difference between doing inline. So this is what it means to do inline. And if you do a full page, well, you can just expect a full page. And it will automatically create a full page on its own. I do suggest, if you want to take advantage of Notion to its full potential, to go ahead and explore with what works for you, what's the best ways for you to communicate ideas to other people, and just see all of the features and functionalities that it provides. Now on to how I organize my workspace. Okay, so here I use the wiki Life Wiki, and you can actually find that template under personal and right here, Life Wiki with the compass. And it will provide you with the week ahead. I like to use this so that way I can strategize what my week is going to look like. But in order for it to be more effective and more specific, I do go into my to-do and I write things that I want to do in the not started. And anything that I have to do today as a priority, I put it in the today status or today column. Anything that I am waiting for the response to is going to be found in waiting response. And this is things like responses from other businesses, newspapers, publications, etc., etc. You get the point. I'm just waiting for the response. Anything that is in progress or that I'm currently working on, I put in progress. And this column is actually really important for me because if I don't put a project or an activity or something that I'm supposed to get done within this column, then I will start the project. I will then take a break, do something else, maybe get a drink of water, and then I would come back, sit down, and then something else would pop into my head and be like, oh, I need to do this, and this should actually take priority. So just having a to-do item in the in progress definitely reminds me, oh, I was doing this, I should get this done. That way I can move it to the complete pile. And then the complete pile, well, is things that I've completed. Now, at the end of the day, I move everything from the complete pile to done this week. And then after the week, I store it into archives. And like before, I actually don't like permanently delete something just because, if I ever do have a bad day and I think to myself, oh, I definitely haven't made any progress within my life. Well, I can look into the archives and think to myself, hey, look at everything that I've completed. You are making progress. But yeah, that's enough of that. Something also very helpful that I do within these cards and items is I mark them within priority, and I do utilize priority for this. So if it's something that's I really need to get done, I put priority 1 and then go from there. Now let's go ahead, go out of the work wiki. And everything else here is extra and just different ways to stay organized. Simple Notebook is more of a place to keep general stuff, like little private notes to myself. Notes and drafts, that's more along the lines of actual notes that I have to remember and take care of. School agreements and habit tracker is also a very nice addition. And this is, of course, just to keep track of habits. And as you can see, today is actually Thursday, the day that I'm recording this, and I have not been keeping track of my habit tracker. I mean, it's okay, right? Yeah, I definitely have to start recording things in my habit tracker and making that into a habit. So if you watched this video as a volunteer, I hope it gave you some insight on how to navigate the workspace and how useful Notion can be when doing your projects. If you already use Notion, you can go ahead and leave a comment or join us on our Discord, Facebook, or LinkedIn, and you can comment on how you use Notion and what's your strategy for being able to stay organized. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a nice day.